यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, wealth, health and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family members and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita. We began the summary of 7th chapter in the last episode. And I stopped in the verse number 4 and 5. From 4th to 12th, Bhagavan Krishna talks about the Ishvara Swarupam. Ishvara Swarupam means the glory of Ishvara and the function of Ishvara and the nature of Ishvara. These three things. He begins with the world realization. The analysis begins with the world, how the world is created. Then the world created is because of God. That power which creates the world is given the name as the God. That's known as Apara and Para Prakriti. That's what he introduced. But we understood in different way. So when we were analyzing these words, then I introduced there are three levels of understanding about Ishvara. The first level, understanding Ishvara as the creator and the world is created, like a pot and pot maker. And we understood if Ishvara is a creator, he becomes almighty, omnipotent. Therefore, so whatever the prayer, whatever the need which we have, if we ask from him, he will just provide it. That is the first level understanding. That is the first beginner bhaktas. Those people are called. So the preliminary or the first level of bhaktas. Then the second level understanding, as we saw, God has become the world. We saw the example of yogurt or curd. So when you put a little bit of dahi, curd into the milk, milk is converted or it is fermented as curd. In the same way, the world is nothing but God. God has manifested as the world. Means, so whatever the manifestation had happened, so nothing but God. Now the perception changes. This is the second level of understanding. The third level of understanding, God has become the world, but God has not manifested. Like a dream and dreamer. That's the third level. Third level is not discussed here. So Bhagavan Krishna has given the second level. God alone has become the world. Parinami Upadana Karana Ishvara. So if we understand in this manner, then our life will be elevated. That's what the glory is. You see, the people who is having faith on the God, the people who doesn't have the faith on the God. You can feel, because they may be talented. So there are so many people who are talented, but they don't have the faith of the God. Some of them later on, after 60, 50, they become a devotee of the God. But the fortune people, so one among the crores of thousands of people, so they get in the engage itself with complete knowledge, with confidence, not with lack of confidence. Bhagavan Krishna in this chapter alone, he talks about 4 kinds of devotees. So out of fear also one can become devotee is acceptable. Out of more desires also one can become the devotee, acceptable. And out of curiosity to know the God, one can become the devotee is accepted. And out of complete knowledge, who become one with the devotee, he also becomes a devoted person, acceptable. So this concept, the analysis about the God is wonderfully given in the 7th chapter. It has got a very panoramic infrastructure, I tell you. Panoramic means in which everything is involved. Our society is constructed with the concept of the God. Whether you understand or not, you cannot keep yourself away. If you celebrate any festivals, Diwali or some kind of Sankranti, or in South we celebrate Pongal, so whatever the Dashera, whatever the festivals, if you celebrate, you are the believer of God. The concept is being developed in so many aspects. That's the glory. But here, Bhagavan Krishna, he gives solid teaching about Ishvara. We should not miss. Therefore, we had two kinds of aspects of God: Apara Prakriti, which is manifesting and unmanifesting; Para Prakriti, which is substratum of that. Now both are mixed. Okay, that's what, when you realize the God alone has become the world, so with every object you will become Vinaya Yukta. Vinaya means you will set the humility. You will become very devoted to all the object and all the incidents which happens in your life. The life changes, perception changes. That perception, so that's what from verse number 8 it talks about, 8 to 12. So once you understand God alone has become the world, so now our perception changes. That is what known as Purna Drishtihi. Paripurna Drishtihi means a clear perception, complete perception. And who say God is not there, he becomes blind person. Like a Hiranyakashipu, that's what said from 8 to 12 as a Raso Hamapsu Kaunteya Prabhasmikshasi Surya Yoho. This, I am the taste in the water. I am the radiance in the sun, because without radiance there is no sun. Without taste there is no water. Because I am being cast, I have manifested myself as the word Punyo Gandhaf Prithivyancha Tejaschasmi Vibhavasau. So these every words, it gives a clear perception on the world. A person, one who has studied Bhagavad Gita, especially 7th chapter, so he has a clear vision, and that vision which is endowed with a foresight. Okay, so his eyes will work in different way. Though physically it will work in the same way, but his mind can see, can penetrate every object up to the level of that Ishvaratvam, godliness. That's what we call it, a transcendental meditation, but not with closed eyes. So this person, he does 24 into 7 because he has already known what is meditation. Now he is developing his visions with the Vishwarupa Ishvara meditation. It's known as Aneka Rupa Ishvara meditation. For him, the world is nothing but Ishvara. Whenever you see, wherever you see, and for whatever you see, everything is Ishvara. Goal is Ishvara, and the path is Ishvara. The pioneer is Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. Every object is Ishvara. The journey becomes a very joyful journey. When you understand, then alone you can experience the happiness. If everything is Ishvara, so nothing can harm you. The life who doesn't have the faith on God, it has got entirely different dimension. So his life is settled. Once you realize, because this physical world cannot be settled, because you won't feel the settled I am. Never. That feeling never happens with this worldly object. They are like shadows. Therefore, once you realize your life is settled, that's what said from verse number 8 to 12. Then, especially in the 12th verse, he says, the internal world also created by me alone. Then Ishvara brings the topic of Maya. The concept of Maya only comes when we discuss about Ishvara. So Maya is the potential capacity power. So the Maya alone veils you. So when we sleep, it it veils us from pain and pleasure. It safeguards us. The Maya, the glory of Maya to be realized. That's what we realized from verse number 13, 14. So in these two verses, Bhagavan Krishna, he just says that Maya is everything. The manifestation, the law of manifestation is established by the power called Maya. That power is mine. So being the owner of the Maya, I alone control the world. I alone give your karma phala. I am creating every day a stage for you to enjoy the karma phala. Now every second, scenes are changing around you. When you get up, your new world is ready to give your karma phala. Every second the stages are different. So the same arrangements cannot be done twice because your karma phala keeps changing. Now he becomes karma phala data. Therefore he says, so this, if you have the faith on God, then easy to cross this Maya, otherwise it's very difficult. The person who doesn't have Shraddha, belief on God, he is explained in the 15th, and what kind of destination he will get. That's what he explained. Adhamaha are explained. Then from 16th verse onwards up to 23rd verse, so 4 kinds of devotees were introduced. These 4 kinds of devotees: Artha Bhaktas, Artharthi Bhaktas, Jignasu Bhaktas, Jnani Bhaktas. So clear category. So when you are in the trouble, at that time you set the faith on God. So welcomed, because you are respected and you are not condemned. You are respected because Shastra values your emotions, your fear, insecurity, feeling is valued by Shastra, and Shastra gives proper Saguna Brahma Upasana. That's what 7th chapter. In 8th chapter also we are going to have Upasana, means Bhakti Marga. Clear worship. You can go and catch hold of Venkateshwara. You cry in front of him. Definitely he will listen to you, because he is not away or he is not far from you. He is sitting in you as you. Therefore he will listen to you definitely. Then he talks about Artharthi, the people who are endowed with so many desires. Extrovert people, they have too many desires. So Bhagavan will also provide whatever they need if they have proper bhakti. That's what the glory of Ishvara, because being a creator, because when a devotee wants to have something, if he comes and surrenders in front of the God, he has accepted he is the creator. Now the responsibility of God is to give whatever he asks, isn't it? He will provide. This is second variety. Then third variety is of bhaktas, Jignasu. Jignasu means, so they are a little bit more matured bhaktas. They would like to know God alone. They want to have God alone. Therefore, those people are known as eligible people of spiritual life. Jignasu bhaktaha. Desire to know the God, desire to reach the God. And they are very much aware that knowledge alone will make it. Therefore, they are seeking for the knowledge. So now seekers of knowledge is known as, for that also they are using that bhakti. From that point, bhakti gets a different form, because I defined bhakti is nothing but a transaction. So that transaction, from the transaction to non-transaction is called bhakti. Now transaction of Artha Bhakti is a beginning level, then the second level transaction for the desire, and third level transaction is converted for knowledge. Then the fourth level known as Jnani Bhakti. Jnani Bhakti means that Advaita Bhakti. He talks very well up to verse number 23, and also he talks about the people, different devotees. Then finally he talks about abhaktas. Okay, from verse number 24 to 27, Bhagavan Krishna talks about abhakta, the people who is not able to construct that bhakti. Then finally he talks about the people of upasakas. Those two verses means 28, 29, 30. Among these three verses, two verses are the introductory verses of the 8th chapter. That's all. We have completed the summary of 7th chapter. Now the 8th chapter. So this 8th chapter, which begins with the answer of Arjuna. Now I would like to give the importance of 8th chapter. So this 8th chapter, mainly it discusses about upasana. Upasana means the method to use while doing bhakti. So this upasana is also one of the topics of this Madhyama Shatka. Upasana means you do something. Simply let us understand. If you have the problem, you make effort. So if you have the financial crisis, so you will get money as a loan, or you will see the people and you will meet the friends and you will get your assets sold. So somehow you make your effort, but you made all effort. So problem is not solved. Then what will you do? So the solution is not seen. You are not able to solve it. Then upasana is the weapon. That upasana, you get some diksha, so you receive some mantra. If you are initiated some mantra, you do japa for crores of time. You do repeating. Then the magic will happen. So now you are using not outside sources. Now you are using inner sources. That's known as upasana. Upasana is only mental transaction, not with the worldly transaction. Now this chapter talks about that kind of upasana. These are all given by our scriptures. These upasana methods are talked about here. And one more thing also is talked about after death, because we make this death as the center point of life. Everything is based on death, So if you go and join an office, you are given insurance and medical policy and so many bank investments. So everything we play around the death. We make unknowingly death is the center point of our life. So now we live around that insecurity. So that's what we call it life. So everywhere insurance policies. I'm not blaming it. It has to be there, but you should know these outer factors. These external factors won't help. That internal things can be done. That's what upasana is. Now, death is not the center point. Our birth is not also center point. What can be the center point of our life? So, life means it should not have death oriented or birth oriented. Then how can the life is lived? That's what Krishna is going to clarify. Once you have the knowledge of Ishvara, then life changes, and that life, how it would be, what kind of life it is going to be. So this 8th chapter is a kind of miscellaneous chapter because Ishvara Swarupam, so which was discussed in the 7th chapter, it will be continued from the chapter number 9. But this 8th chapter, it talks about a little bit Upasana and it gives the answer of Arjuna's question. Now, as we begin this chapter, we can realize one thing. So, there are so many normal questions about death, about birth, about karma, and about this all riddles of life. Now, in Bhagavata, there is a story, So, one king who was offering food to a Brahmana. So, he was offering like this. At that time in the sky, so one eagle was carrying a snake. Okay, that eagle was carrying the snake. Snake was dead. So from that dead snake, a poison, a drop of poison fell on the food or in the food. And this king was not aware. The Brahmana was not aware. Brahmana had the food and immediately he died. Now, not knowing the factor, this king has become worried. Now, this Brahmana soul went up to Yamaloka. Yamaloka means the palace of Lord Yama. Now, Yama became confused. So, and Chitragupta also were confused. Then Yama said, let us wait to see. Because the king who was not unaware, therefore we cannot blame the king, we cannot make him as the accused. And this Brahmana, he was not also aware about it. Even you cannot blame the snake because it was dead. You cannot blame eagle even because it was not having the plan to kill somebody. So whom to be blamed? Then they were waiting. So the one week up. So then they passed. After a few days, some other Brahmins, they inquired about the king because they wanted to reach the king. They also should get something. They inquired from a shopkeeper. That shopkeeper says, so Raja's palace is over there, but be careful because he kills Brahmins. Then Chitragupta and Yama decided, so this person whom should be blamed, all the sin has to be given to him. Now this is the riddles of the life. Because people who worship a lot, they immediately sometimes they passes away. And who does all adharmic karya, so they keep living for 90 years. These are all, sometimes you become mad and people also will criticize. That person was having lots of faith on God, but he died soon. So these riddles will be answered here because our life should not be based on the death and birth. Then life should be based on what? That is what the 8th chapter. Let us begin the 8th chapter because this 8th chapter contains so many secrets about our physical and the journey, departure of our spirit. Okay, we will just begin. Arjuna Uvacha Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottamam Adhibhutancha Kim Proktam Adhidaivam Kim Uchyate. And one more verse also to be read. Adhiyajnah Katham Kotra Dehesmin Madhusudana Prayana Kale Cha Katham Jneyosi Niyatatma Bhihi. So 6 kinds of questions asked by Arjuna. These 6 kinds of questions about 6 kinds of technical terms, which was used by Krishna in the last chapter, in the last 2 verses. Now he says, Kim Tad Brahma. Brahman means what? You said Brahma. Brahman means what? Adhyatmam means what? And karma means what? You see, Brahma, Adhyatmam, karma. Adhibhutam means what? Adhidaivam means what? Adhiyajnam means what? These 5. And the 6th matter is Prayana Kalecha Katham Nyeyaha Asi. You said, even while the departure, at the door of death, if somebody surrenders and he realizes me, definitely he will reach only me. He won't be born again. You assured me. How? So, how that? Are you that much easier to get? So, this is the sixth question. So, he puts all these six as the question. You know, these six technical terms are the part of our life. The karma is the part of our life. Adhyatma means individual aspects. Brahman means that is, it's everything. Therefore, this chapter is known as Akshara Brahma Yoga. We will continue this chapter from next episode. Harihi Om. May Lord Venkateshwara provide all kinds of capacity and power to realize and digest this chapter. Let us begin from next episode. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaja Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.